Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It is time to talk a little Survivor here on Rotogrinders.com. Dan Bach alongside Mr. Tuttle, BigT, and HeadChopper had a good time with this show last week. We're going to run it back, especially after Tuttle gave away basically all the spoilers and won all the free money last week. Congrats on your...
I got $7 from FanDuel. Totally worth it.
Man, spend it all in one spot there. Run it up. Before we get into that, I do want to remind everybody to join us Thursday night, 9 o'clock. We've got our DFS Poker Open over there at Global Poker. We're going to have about $5K up for grabs. And on top of that, bounties for most of us out there, including Chop and myself. Going to give some college football packages away. Big T is going to do some showdown one-on-one tutoring, I guess. Tony, is that what we're calling it? What
Definitely wouldn't call it tutoring, but we're gonna talk for 30 minutes about whatever they want.
Okay, I love it, and many more. Of course, if you go to the front page of Rotogrinders.com, you'll see that banner. Click that, and also be sure to click that article. Well, it'll take you to the article, which has the old password for you, so you can join that contest happening 9 o'clock on Thursday. Should be a fun one, guys. All right.
Everyone. Is anyone saying they're not playing? Because got a shame.
There is a guy in this room who is not playing.
Total, it better not be out.
Wait, what?
There's no what does that even mean? How are you not in?
I mean,
you can't miss when everyone's in there.
It is pretty tempting. I'm not gonna lie. There's some pretty easy.
What is
money.
the reason?
I mean,
why
Soccer Dave's playing. Family life.
It's 9 o'clock.
It's family game night, Tony, on Thursday night. Come on.
Oh. No, he's getting in. We're getting him in by the end of the show. He can't be the only one.
I mean, I don't want to shame.
Even Crane's in.
I feel like there's got to be a good reason for it because, let's face it, what else are we doing?
Everyone's at home for 4 months. What good reason could there be?
I mean, there's got to be a good reason.
No, we're getting him in.
I still need my beauty sleep, man.
No, it's definitely not because you're going to sleep.
Chop, are you any good at poker?
No, not really. Not really. I played I'm not like Big T. This guy's a shark. He's just a swimming shark.
I haven't cashed a ticket in 6 days. What are you talking about?
Well, you can see who's good. The only time I ever played poker was at the very beginning of the moneymaker boom, and I wasn't even an online guy. I played at what was that old Pacific Poker or some garbage like that?
Pacific was back in the day.
Yeah, and that was only a little bit. So, no, I'm not a poker guy, but it's fun though. I like it. What else we got to do? Like Big T says, shit.
DB, when you hopped in the poker room the other day, DB, how'd your first tourney go?
It was absolutely horrendous. There's nothing worse than getting shamed and being called old. So hit the showers, old man, after you get eliminated.
Showers.
It's totally
that was the best
terrible.
day of the whole poker room. I got to knock out you and Tuttle. It was a fun time.
It was bad. I'm hoping Chop picks up some W's because that internet connection he's got is awfully sketchy right now for a guy who won a Millie Maker.
I feel bad too, DB. I was blaming you, and Chop's internet's the one bringing it down.
I tried to get. I said, Devin, give me 5 seconds. Give me a second, Devin, to get the cord hooked up, and he's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna go get my cord and hook it up. You guys, give me.
Go get your cord and hook it up. Go hook up your cord.
DB got framed.
It was come on, it had to be DB. We were good before DB came in. I think DB screwed us up.
He messed up the mojo.
Yes, it was me. I went in and screwed up with your connection. All right, Tuttle Survivor this week. Before we get into the game, let's talk about some changes this week. Of course, you can play it over on FanDuel. It's free to play. It's fun, and honestly, the good thing about this is probably watch Survivor live for the first time in years. Normally I watch it on demand, DVR. I'd get through it in about 25 minutes or whatever, 30 minutes, but watched it live, kind of enjoyed it. So what do we have on scoring this week that's different from last week?
Yeah, I'm glad I looked at scoring because I wouldn't have picked it up. They decreased the contestant wins team or individual immunity idol down to 12 points. That was 20 last week. I mean, that's still where the majority of points are going to be found in this, this week as well. But it does allow you to get a little bit more creative, I think, with like your captain spots and people basically that you think might be winning and playing idols and that sort of thing.
And excellent call last week by you. Glad the Reddit.
They didn't listen to you. You didn't even listen to them though.
I gave everybody all the information and nobody even listened.
No, I listened. I got Sandra. It made me 50 DB bucks.
No.
Oh, Chop.
No,
see,
I didn't.
Again. It was Chop.
No, you didn't. See, this is the best thing about last week's show was that you had the biggest layup in the world.
You talked me into it.
To just take Parv, and boy, did I bully you off of that pick and goad you into taking Nick. And you did save myself $50. Chopper was the one who paid us because we tied. We split.
That was so bad, too. Like, I knew Nick wasn't going. I got cocky. You talked me into it. I got too cocky. God.
You do enough of these shows, and Big T, you know the buttons to press to.
I picked Nick. I mean, oh God, you talked me right into it.
It was like made
I'm
no
disgusted.
sense. It was by far if you would have picked Michelle, it would have made more sense. You picked like a guy who had zero chance of going home. So.
Yeah, zero chance. It was. I got cocky. I didn't think it was going to come down to, and then it cost me the freaking pool later in the night because I was just as cocky that the blue team was going to win, and the blue team didn't.
They did not. It was a great episode, though, last week. And let's talk a little bit about kind of what happened there because, man, Sandra, it's funny because, boy, she kind of shot herself in the foot, to say the very least there, Tony.
Yeah, and it was great to see, too, because she obviously, I mean, she's won twice. She's talked so much crap about how she's the queen and she runs everybody. And it's Denise, right? That's the lady's name?
Yeah.
Denise schooled her, man.
Just abused her. And we should get into it because everyone was kind of making fun of her for using the other idol on Jeremy. For those of you, I'm sure everyone's watched. If you haven't watched it by now, then you're not even
watched it. Come on.
Survivor anyways. But they were making fun of her for using it on Jeremy. I like it just because it guaranteed her plan no matter what. Like, if someone somehow double-crossed her and they split the votes or whatever would have happened, this, no matter what, guaranteed, and it locks in Jeremy 100% to be with her because Jeremy knows she's got my back. So I like it. I mean, she did burn them both, but she sent Sandra home, locked in her alliance, locked in her resume. I mean, I don't know how she could have played it better.
Yeah, there's so many freaking advantages out there right now that, there's still a lot of stuff that can be played. I actually thought Sandra's idea was okay in the sense of it's a way to potentially get rid of somebody who, and without kind of having your hands on it. But the worst thing of it was when she said, when she convinced her that I'm going to give you one fire token now and one fire token afterwards. Like,
that was
why?
when you text me too. Like, you text me like, oh,
Later.
Sandra's a genius. You text me.
Well, I thought she was until that kind of happened.
You didn't hear Tuttle during the show? No. You didn't listen. I listened to Tuttle.
That gave Denise an even bigger reason to give her the old boot. So she didn't have to get rid of her fire token.
Exactly.
Tuttle, this guy texted me and said, Sandra's the GOAT. She's just playing
I did not
everyone.
call her the GOAT. I thought it was a wise move until.
What did you say, though?
Until she didn't get the fire tokens up front. Why wouldn't you get the fire tokens up front? You're the one with the advantage. You're the one helping this woman. Why does it matter that you get one after the fact? I can't fathom why she would do that. It made no sense.
Denise had to make sure it was a real idol. So
I'd say, well, if you don't believe me, then whatever. Like, you're going home. Like, end of story.
I've got some bad spoiler news on Sandra and Sandra's legacy.
Well,
Okay.
we got one more thing before you get into the spoiler. So DB says Wednesday, 8:27 p.m.
You're reading text? I thought these are private here, Tony.
Wednesday, 8:27 p.m. Tony is toast. Sandra is so smart.
That is too good.
So
man,
good.
this is like
Sandra
your
is
girlfriend
smart.
showing off your text messages to her friends. Like,
so good.
so embarrassing. So embarrassing, Tony.
And I immediately said, "What do you mean? She's going home." And he said, "Guess we'll see."
Hey, I'm not the idiot who took Nick. Okay, I'm going to go back to that. Chopper, you got steady internet now.
You look good.
You do look good now. I like it.
Ah, man. Yeah. So I think DB was on to something. Like I got 4 other people in the house now, and they're all using the same 5G, Kaplan 5G connection.
When you win $1 million, can't you have like your own connection? And
I do, but it's never come into question because I'm always here by myself. So I can use the
your poker playing too, though. Maybe the cards will come out a little quicker.
I've been on there 10 days. I've had 5 winning days and 4 losing days. So I'm holding my own, considering you freaking sharks are out there.
Don't be sandbagging us earlier. Like, oh, I haven't played since Pacific.
These sharks out there are freaking. First of all, can we just give a little shout out here? 1 week ago today, I was doing the show in a full mask and gear because I thought we were into the world. Now, a week later, Trumpy and Pastor Pete tell me by Easter we're going to be celebrating, so we're going to be good to go here, man. I feel better about it. But old Pastor Pete's in there folding down and folding down and folding down all night long until he cashes. I got guys in there intentionally disconnecting their internet so that they can just check down until they get in the cash, and then they mysteriously pop back up and they start playing the hands out. So listen, I'm in there. I'm pushing the chips forward. I'm not scared.
Pastor Pete.
All
That's
right.
draft cheap for anybody listening.
Yeah. By the way, that picture that was posted was great,
so
especially
good.
with Tony.
So many good Easter eggs in there, man.
Yeah, there were some really good ones.
Oh, good.
Could have added maybe like 3 or 4 more, but
if he would have added like the 2 or 3 obvious ones with it, it would have been the best picture ever. Because he missed like two or 3 obvious additions.
So good.
Job, do you have any thoughts on last week's episode?
Yeah, I was completely shocked at the Sandra debacle. I thought she was way too smart to do something like that. Way too greedy to give up a real idol like that. And I'm shocked. And that cost her real, because she was really good in that tribe. So
And here's the thing too, that I don't think they do enough, or she should have actually used, instead of like looking at it as, oh, I've got this idol I can't use after this day. It still looks like a freaking idol. Just, play it as a fake idol for somebody else. Like, you can leverage that actual idol even if it's not real and or valid, I guess. And I think that makes more sense than just probably giving it to Sandra. But again, Tony kind of already called me out for my mistake last week.
Why do they think these fire tokens? They're going to play a role at some point, but you're not giving up an idol for 2.
How great was it when Tyson ate peanut butter with his fire token after we talked about it last week? Like, who's going to be the one to buy a pizza? He gets one and immediately gets a giant jar.
It was just peanut butter, right? Like he was eating it off a rock or something. Like,
he had a little clamshell for a spoon. I like it, man.
It was just then what did he do with it to hide it? Like, did he put it behind a rock?
They got those big old bags that they can carry around.
But people always look in them, right? Or they're not. I always wondered that rule. Like, why are they allowed to look in someone else's bag?
I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to this year.
Okay. You should never be allowed to look in someone's bag like that.
I've wondered that too, yeah.
The same way you shouldn't be, disclosing other people's texts, Tony.
It wasn't nothing. If it was like it was just to make fun of you. It wasn't any censored items.
I hope not. I don't think you're getting any of those that I know of. There,
send
Tony.
us the news that Davey sent me.
Now I know.
Like, what's going on?
Gee, I suckered you into telling me I wasn't getting any of the censored info. Now I know.
All right. Did anybody watch the videos on YouTube for this week? They've got the little 15-second, 30-second coming up this week on Survivor.
I did not.
I avoid those.
What do we got? What's the plan?
There was one that kind of featured Ethan on the Extinction Island saying, I need to get back into the game. And then there was one that showed Tony's tribe. It was like the 4 of them sitting on an island, like relaxing. And then Tony was basically doing like 50-yard sprints down the beach, and they were laughing hysterically. And then the last one was the actual immunity competition, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty physical one. They've got to catch water into these giant buckets, or not in this giant buckets, this giant wheel that weighs like, a couple 100 pounds, and then drop it off and then do a puzzle. So that's what was in the Survivor preview. There you have it.
So we're down to 4-4-4, the tribes.
Yes.
Yep.
Sandra doesn't get to sit on the bench again.
Michelle, Wendell, Nick,
Yule.
Yep.
Tony, Denise, Jeremy, Kim, and Adam, Ben, Sarah, and Sophie.
Yep.
And we got obviously 8 on redemption. So what do you think? Do we think the merge is going to be at 10?
Yeah, so what I've read is yes, it's not this week. Perhaps within the next couple of weeks. The other there are 2 spoilers out there that I read. One is that somebody on Edge of Extinction raises the white flag this week.
Ooh.
Gotta be.
Well, I mean, if anyone does it, it's obviously going to be Sandra.
Right. That's
like there's
maybe,
no
maybe
one
that's
else.
why. Maybe that's why she actually played the game like that last week. Maybe she really
She
is
knew
just
she was
ready to
gonna
go
quit.
home. Maybe she's just really ready to go home. Yeah.
No way. Come
And she's gonna
on.
play
$2
it.
million bucks on the board, up for grabs. Jeez.
She's already won this game a couple times, right?
But it's got to be her that raises the flag. If anyone.
Dude, she sits out. She doesn't want to really.
She doesn't want to go to no Edge of Extinction.
Or could it
She
be-
doesn't want to be out there and do anything
Could
physical.
it be the Ethan guy too? I think there's a chance he could raise
Maybe,
it.
yeah, maybe he calls and quits,
Yeah.
but
No, the dude
But
got
I'm just trying-
a thousand fire logs. He's not
I'm just-
going home after
I'm
he
just
gets all
trying to
those
say.
logs.
I'm just trying to say why. Maybe one thing. Maybe that's why she played that game so stupidly last, because she was ready to go home and she didn't want to actually quit, so she kind of took herself out of the game that way.
This isn't the freaking Bachelor chop where like, oh, I'm ready to go home. Like this, he doesn't love me. Like this $2 million.
I'd like to see
legacy.
DB out there on a
Oh.
deserted island for 30 days eating peanut butter out of a jar with a clamshell on. There's no way. You got a gardener in there mowing your grass in Florida, right? There's no way you survive that, man. It's a tougher life for those guys who are a little bit soft like
Out of
Sandra
a
and DB.
clamshell, you said.
I've talked about submitting a video for it for like years and still haven't done it. But somebody from like the world of DFS should be on it, right? Like I feel like we're a large enough kind of industry. We've got Twitter followers. We're entertained. Like somebody should be able to get on that show, right?
You can get Devin to produce it. It can be
Maybe
high quality.
Pastor Pete should get on there.
Gosh.
I'd go on Big Brother. I would never go on Survivor. I would
do Survivor in a second. I would do Survivor in a second, just so Tony can make fun of my my moobs again.
You'd
right?
probably be good. I think someone from DFS would have a chance because the game theory
It's
aspect.
gotta be, yeah, game playing. Got to be personable.
Are you
gotta be
kidding
smart,
me?
Athletic.
About 90% of DFS guys are total dicks, man. These guys don't get along with anybody. These guys don't get along with anybody. How are they going to go out there on Survivor and survive?
Well, the last poker
mental
player-
challenge.
The last poker player went out like first. What was that? I think it was last season or 2 seasons ago.
Sometimes they overplay it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
You never know how you're going to actually act when you're actually out there on the beach eating out of
Hey.
the clamshell.
If Devin and Simon want to produce my Survivor video, I'm in. So I guess this is like lull time. We don't have much going on, right? Like it could.
Yeah, now's the time to put it together.
All right, we'll see. Maybe we'll do that.
Whatever you do in that video, don't show them that part where you bailed out on the basketball game in Nashville, because
No.
they'll think you're a quitter, man. You don't want to
And
show
then
them that
next
part.
week he's running wind sprints on the beach.
Oh, dude.
Golly.
I'm-
Like Rocky and Apollo running those wind sprints on the beach. Come on, DB.
Well, Tony gets to do that this week. So let's get into it. So Tuttle, you say you don't have. So you said the one spoiler is somebody might go home from extinction.
Who do you think it is, Total, that raises it?
It's Sandra. I think it's Sandra. I'm with you guys. It's got to be. The only spoiler that I could find in terms of who gets booted, not sure if you want to hear this one or not,
I mean, is this like a confirmed thing, you think, or is it?
This is not. This is unconfirmed. I would give it. The name's kind of.
Say it. Let us guess before you say it. Let us all take a guess.
Let me give you a hint. The name is surprising.
The name is surprising.
It's somebody you think. Yeah. But that's the rumor this week.
Why did you pick Yule? What are you reading the freaking Reddit again too? What Tunnel? You just randomly say Yule.
I will tell you why. Again, I watched the YouTube video, and again, these are produced by CBS, so I don't view these as spoilers because they're putting them out there. And in one, it was like a 2-second clip. Wendell and Michelle were together, and they go, "We can only talk for like 10 seconds," and Michelle and Wendell, like, they haven't been on the same page at all. Wendell's been in the Nick Yule, they've been together the entire time. So I think Wendell, smart dude. Like that guy's a good game player. He knows that Yule's a strong player. So he might be the time to get rid of him. So
he should be stringing Michelle along better too. Like, Michelle's whipped on him still. He needs to use that to his advantage. Like, give her a leg, let her lay next to his leg or something at night. I mean, you got to string her along.
Well, maybe that happens. This
third leg?
That leg too, if it helps.
You know what they say?
Oh, Chopper, no. I will say, I'll say he got like a bad edit at that tribal council last week. They like wanted him to leave.
You think it was a bad edit, or did he just really like flip on everybody, flip on him?
No, I think they made him like try to come off as like super cocky and I don't need everybody and this and that. I mean, they do that because they want there to be drama, but clearly Parv was the one going home. But that 2-second clip that I saw from that video, though, Yule's not a horrible choice.
So you don't think that? You thought it was always going to be poverty. You didn't think that if she said, "Okay, Wendell, let's do this," you don't think he would have flipped right there?
No, dude was totally smart when he's like, "Give me your 2 fire tokens, and then I'll not vote you out." He was going to get her 2 fire tokens and then vote her out. Like,
so you think maybe he had already gone over that with the other with his other
100%. And there's no way they showed that, because I was watching this, and when she was like making these claims of like, "Oh, Wendell asked me for fire tokens in lieu of not voting me out." I mean, that's when you stand up and say, "Of course I did. I'm going to vote you out. If I can get your fire tokens before you leave, I'm damn well going to try, but you're going home." He might have even said that, but they never show that stuff. See,
all right, well, so now that y'all ruined this episode and we know Yule's going home, there's no real reason to watch this shit.
Well, we can make educated lineups based on if we think Yule's going home. The other thing I think we should mention is it kind of screwed it up last week scoring wise, and something I hadn't considered is we totally neglected the reward. But because the team that got first last week also got the peanut butter jelly sandwiches, they were credited with reward points as well. So if we think that's going to happen, then you have to stack the team that gets first, because they win immunity and they win the reward then.
That's what I said. I thought the scoring, having those two combined like that just ruined the scoring, because if you didn't stack that team that took first, you were screwed. So that's what. So do we know if 2 are going home, or is it just two immunities this week?
I think it's just one.
I think it's just one going home.
Yeah.
Last week tilted me so hard because there was 2 5-man teams and a 4-man team, and FanDuel didn't even do it to where you could just stack all 5 people, which we didn't know on the show. So I stack all 5 blues. If you stacked all 5 and they won, like, you were a lock, you just had to hit the MVP and you'd finish first. And the team with 4 won, though. So now this week they all got 4, so it's a lot more interesting that way, at least.
So you could stack 5 in Survivor, but you can only get 4 in MLB. Is that what
and it completely ruined it, because half the people didn't know. I think in the Chops 100 man, there was only like 3 people that stacked 5 guys.
The other thing scoring wise last week that we found out, Denise did not get deducted for receiving votes.
Oh.
Because of the idol?
Apparently because of the idol. If you go back and look, I'll go back in scoring, but that's something I noticed.
I thought they would have, because that was one of the
Correct.
reasons why I thought playing, trying to predict who plays an idol isn't great, because you get those negative points. But you're telling me, does it nullify those votes? So I guess maybe that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, I think that's the reasoning behind it. I'm going to go back and try to bring up and make sure that that's correct. I remember looking last week because I thought it's going to place better. I was wondering why Denise scored so high. And then I saw,
she played 2 idols too, right?
Yeah, she got the 2 idols that she played, but she also did not. I'm going back now, but I'm pretty sure she also did not get deducted.
Now, here's
who
one
ended
thing
up being the person with the 4, Michelle, because of the fire tokens?
Yep.
Yeah. Here's something to consider this week that's different from last week. Is you only had 1 winning team. This week we're going to have 2 winning teams. So therefore,
2 winning teams.
Because they're 2 people were voted out. 2 tribes went to tribal last week. So
it's going to be way more random tonight if you win.
Unless you stack the first place. If we think the first place team is still going to get a reward, then that will still skew which team to stack.
Yeah, you really don't want that second team that gets nothing out of it, because they're probably going to be just, sitting on the beach picking their nose or whatnot. They're not going to be catching fish on TV. So, interesting.
So Denise did not. I opened up the contest. Denise did not get deducted last week for receiving votes.
All right. Well, let's start making some predictions here.
What do we think for the fire tokens? Like, how many are out there? Do we have any kind of guess? Like, what's the total number?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Michelle has to have 3 or 4 now, right?
Plus her original. So yeah, that's 4 total. You're right. 3 from Parv and 1.
So I have a question. I don't know. The spoiler again was that Yule potentially gets voted out. If we think Yule gets voted out, do you think Michelle can pull that straight with Wendell and Nick? Or will she have to use her fire tokens to potentially buy an advantage, or she finds an immunity idol, plays that? Because that would then, if she bought an immunity idol or finds an immunity idol and then plays it, that would make her one of the highest scorers of the week.
No, because she's not going to win the challenge.
She's not going to win the challenge, but if you get points. You get points for buying the immunity idol or finding, I think is what they call it. So contestant finds or buys an advantage is worth 7. Contestant finds or buys the hidden immunity idol is 7. So if she finds it, 7, and playing it is worth 10. So she'd get 17 points for that. 5. And then survives next week so she'd be up to 22, which puts her ahead of the team that only gets immunity, but doesn't get the reward.
Is she worth playing in the captain mode over those other
play
teams?
Michelle in the captain.
No, I'm just hey, I mean, you're going all in on this theory here. Is she worth playing the captain mode over somebody on the winning team?
Well, she still wouldn't. So let's total that up, right? So let's say it's best case scenario. She finds a hidden immunity idol. So that's 7. She plays it, 10. So she's up to 17, and then she just survives. It's 22.
Okay.
So compared to if the first place gets reward also, that's 20 points plus, right there. Plus survives is 5 points. So they would beat her. Not including any of the kind of random scoring, like bequeathing of a fire token or caught on camera with tears, that sort of thing. Just in terms of advancing or playing the hidden immunity idol, she would still be behind team number 1.
25 to 22. You're right.
But it's also not guaranteed, though, that the first place team gets reward. I think last week was the first time that they've gotten reward this season. I could be wrong on that.
I think it's going to happen again, though.
Yeah, because they're not running just reward challenges anymore.
Right.
Too much stuff going on. So there's still like 0 reason to play anybody. Like, will this work on the salary though here too? Because I'm seeing Michelle is the highest priced player this week.
Yeah, like it had to just be because of the last week probably.
So, because the idea, would be then to stack the team you think is going to get first, and then add Michelle on. Would be the idea.
But
I don't know
if
if
you
it's
wanted
possible.
to do that, you can't do it with the red team.
Okay.
You can't do it with the red team. I just tried that. I don't know if you can do it with any of them. Let's try it with the green.
I got the
Sophie,
red team. Why
Ben,
can't you do it with the
Sarah.
red team?
You can't stack red team with Michelle because she's too expensive.
No, you can't.
Well, yeah, you don't need Michelle.
I mean,
Michelle's
you do if she's
terrible.
going to get 22 points.
You have to pick. Remember, so you can stack, but then you also have to find the one other person. So who's the one other person going to be involved in your stack?
I think we need to know these fire tokens to see. So how many does Yule have if we're assuming he goes? Does he just have one?
I think he's just got one.
Yeah, I think he just has
But
one.
still, if he gives it to, like, who's he going to give it to? Is there any? All the old people are gone. They just keep leaving.
He'll give it to like Nick or somebody probably.
Even if Nick votes him out?
Nick won't vote him out.
Well, how's he going to leave then if Nick doesn't vote him out?
It's probably.
I think he would. Wasn't he tight with Sophie?
Yeah.
Well, how do we
doesn't-
think so?
Nick does
So
not have to
Michelle
vote him out
almost
if
has
she
to use
plays-
an idol.
if
You don't
she
think
plays-
Nick's going to vote him out?
No, she plays an idol. Their votes are on Michelle. She votes for Yule. He's gone. End of story.
Yeah. So you think Nick so they just go 2-2 and then an idol?
Yeah. Like I'm almost wondering if maybe like because of the little snippet we saw is maybe Wendell gives like a fire token to Michelle to allow her to buy an idol. And then he's kind of hands off, like, oh, I didn't know what's going on. That was
He's not
surprising to
giving
me,
her
even
an
though he's kind of
not
in
doing
on it.
that.
What?
They're all how many, like, all the idols are back in play, right? Because they used 2 of them, so she's gonna find an idol.
See, that's the other thing. There are 2 idols back in play, right?
Yeah.
Well, Sandra's did she find that or did she was given that?
There's
one
at least
from-
one going back in.
from
Where's it going back to? Do we know?
Extinction, probably, because that's where she got it, right? That's where somebody gave it to her that first day.
No, so that one won't come back, but the one Denise found, what tribe did she find that at? That's gonna be important.
She found it early on, and she had to give half of it to somebody, and then she got it.
Parv, right? Or was that a different
well,
one?
she thought about giving it to Parv and then didn't do it after.
Give it to
everybody's like,
Adam.
"You're an idiot."
What tribe was that on? That's actually gonna, I think, dictate because wherever that
I hate the
idol is
names,
replanted.
dude. I don't hate the names. I want to say it was blue.
I
Let me
hate how
see
they
it.
do those names too. Why can't they just call it blue, red, and green?
Yes, it was blue. It was Sele.
So it's going, yeah. So Michelle's gonna find it and use it, yeah. But so that makes it interesting because if you think, like, obviously if it's physical, I still think the red, like, clearly has the most physical team.
And the fact that they were just sitting on the beach doing wind sprints really didn't feel like that they were in full-on gameplay mode.
So if we can't fit the 5 highest scoring people, so you guys said it.
Chop,
If
you
they
got
win,
thoughts
they get she gets 22 for if it falls perfect for her. They get what? 25?
25, but that doesn't include like
Random stuff.
the
My
random stuff.
question is about the Yule spoiler. Now, where is this coming from? Is it coming from just the CBS clip?
This is Reddit.
Oh, Reddit. Oh, you guys, the Reddit thing is always money. Dang.
I mean, the thing is, he gave the hint, and then I only got it from the YouTube clip, so that feels like there could be something here.
If it was just a clip of a show, I wouldn't put stock in it. But if he's saying it's coming from Reddit, those those guys are pretty sharp.
Just
man.
like Sandra too, it just makes too much sense.
Yeah. So dang.
Any hints on
Here's the
Yule
thing,
social media, Tuttle? Did you?
No, I haven't checked the social media yet.
For Yule to go home, though, that would mean that blue team with Yule, Wendell, Nick's okay. Michelle's a good female competitor. That team would have to finish last in a physical challenge. That's where I'm.
Nick is not.
He's not good, but Michelle makes up for that. But I mean, look at this. You got this other, like the green team is a pretty smart team, but physically they're not.
Show. You know what I'm gonna do? Okay. I'm gonna get this on.
These things are always weird. Sometimes there's always a puzzle at the end, and then the smart people catch up.
Let's see if we can't find this real quick. So here we go.
The Sandra Fat was trimmed, remember, from the Red Tribe. So they could be a pretty fit team with Jeremy, Denise, Tony, and Kim.
Who's the weak link? Is old Tony there?
Yeah, he probably is.
Hiding in the friggin' bushes, waiting for somebody.
That was awesome, though, when he was in the tree
All right.
again.
I'm gonna throw my screen share up real quick, okay? So
Uh-oh.
we can see this. See if I can get this going here.
I'm curious what you've queued up for us.
Uh-oh. I hope it's not one of those personal DB films that is mistakenly makes it to the screen share.
Back from Mexico or wherever he just was.
And can you see the video?
Okay, yes.
All right. So this is the challenge that they're doing here. Again, this is only like a couple minutes.
Couple minutes.
You're not seeing the video.
I only see your desktop. You're also probably going to get our account suspended if you stream this video.
Okay, like, never mind.
How did you get it to go full screen on my screen?
Yeah, I know.
My whole screen just went to
He's
your
over here controlling our screens. Jeez.
All right, well, forget that.
I don't think I've ever gone full screen on this thing. It is massive. I just saw a mountain.
So anyway, watch the video. It's a couple minutes. It just shows like the first 30 seconds of the actual challenge. It's kind of interesting.
So what was the video going to show us?
It was going to show you that
Physical?
Denise or that Michelle looked like she was not doing very good in this challenge. That's what it showed.
Okay.
All right, let's make predictions. Let's how are we building this real quick, Tuttle? What's the plan? You're the sharp here.
So what we're stacking green or red?
I think I'm stacking green or red.
So the question is, are we 100% sure where this other idol is going to be replanted? Because if we think that it will be replanted where Denise is currently playing, or her current tribe, then I think it would make more sense to stack red than green, right? Because then we think that they're also going to find an idol.
The problem with red, though, is you can't stack them with Michelle.
You can't stack green with Michelle, though, either.
Yeah, you have to be able to,
stand
right? No, you're still short?
You're 6 short.
Wow.
So then you have to start thinking, is it worth taking one of these people on edge of extinction? It can't be.
Unless they somehow like run into something as far as reward.
What do you
on
mean
there.
edge of extinction in terms of just making sure you play? Because
In order to make the salary fit,
Well,
you could
if-
play somebody on edge of extinction. These guys are cheap as heck. Natalie's $7.
So you're saying only play 3 of the team and Michelle?
You can't play Michelle over one of the team though if she's not going to.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to
Right.
stack. You have to stack the 4, I think. And
then
I'm
just-
going to go red here. And then it leaves you your options after that would be Wendell, Nick, Adam, or Jokesters on
Whoever you think
Extinction.
gets the Yule Fire token is who you should play.
Right.
So that would be not necessarily though, because
That's
as
who
we
you
said
should put in the
before-
captain.
well, as we said before, if somebody wins, let me see the scoring here. If the second place team wins, I guess they don't win individual immunity. Okay.
What if both sides
Contestant
get a
wins
reward? Isn't
team
that
or
possible?
individual immunity.
Yeah, then scoring will be crazy if both teams win.
Like, what if like the first place gets a real good reward and second place gets peanut butter and jelly or whatever the scenario
But they could
is.
still get team
Yeah, it's
immunity,
possible.
though. They could still get team immunity, right? The second place team will still get team immunity. So there'll be 12
Right.
points for them, and they'll get 5 more for the surviving. That's 17. Just, baseline. That's going to be higher. So I think it's actually play somebody from red and green. So I think
FanDuel making Michelle $27 is what has me puzzled too. It's like they know that she's going to be the leading scorer.
Yeah.
Like maybe she cries. Maybe she does one thing that gets her over the top.
There you
She
go.
freaking finds a big sea bass or something.
There you go.
Finds a big sea bass.
I want to play her the captain so bad.
I think I'm rolling Denise, Jeremy, Tony, Kim, and Adam. I think that's going to be my 5. I think
Adam's going to be, but the problem is so many people are going to.
I mean,
it won't matter in our $100 one, but.
Yeah, I mean, you stack based on the assumption that Yule goes home, which is not 100% guaranteed.
That's what's going to happen. It's not even going to be the right. We're going to have the wrong spoiler.
Right.
All of us are going down the wrong path.
Right. But
Except
if
Chop,
that's what
Chop's not
happens,
doing it.
yeah, Chop will. I need to hear what Chop's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, so the spoiler thing is, if it was just if y'all are just basing it on a CBS clip, I say I'd like the blue team. I would stack the blue team. If you're telling me there's some real proof on Reddit, like you did Sandra last week, that's got me scared. But I mean, I could see if everybody thinks that the red, like y'all are saying, if y'all are any indication of what other people are going to do, I don't mind taking a shot on the blue team. I find it hard to believe they'll finish in dead last place, but that's just.
I mean, maybe green is the answer. I don't know. I mean, I just like red, but
it's because red is clearly like the best team. Yeah.
They're expensive though, man.
I know. I'm trying
Red's
to
tough
think
to
of the
stack.
combo.
I'm stacking red with Adam. That's the way I'm going. Now the question is, out of the red, which one do you put in captain mode?
I'm putting Michelle in the captain for sure.
I like Tony's sticking to the guns.
The pricing plus your guys' spoiler, plus I know she's going to get 22. I only need a cry. I mean, how much is the cry worth?
So yeah, you need the cry over the other to get him
Yeah, but
to get
Wendell,
over the hump.
I mean, Wendell, maybe he didn't give the third stick
There
that
you
night.
go.
She might cry for us. I mean,
I will say, based on the spoiler and based on how we think it goes, Michelle will be the highest scorer if there is no reward included.
which also could happen, yeah. I
That's
just
gonna
think
be
the pricing is what throws me off. Like
They
they
know
know that you can't stack and take Michelle, which yeah, I think I'm taking Michelle. I don't know who to leave out though is the question, because you still have to bank whoever gets the Yule.
We just did the math though that taking Michelle over somebody on.
Well, let's get some
winning
action
tribe
in.
doesn't make
Hundy
any
again on the
sense.
side. My team versus your team.
My team versus your team. Heads up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same bet. And
I
Chop's
just
in
don't
too. And Tuttle
think-
can get in this week too because he didn't get
No,
back.
but these guys reading Reddit spoilers. How am I supposed to?
No, he doesn't. He's not holding out. He doesn't know nothing. Well, he's in.
I don't know. Tuttle keeps rolling his eyes a little bit when he leans back. I feel like he might know more.
He keeps rolling his eyes when he leans back. Chop, are you in?
I mean, I'll play. Yeah, of course I'm in, but
Yeah, we're in our normal 100 with the
Yeah.
10 or 11, and then just our show 100 too.
All right.
we're doing a show 100 too.
We'll do
All
the
right.
show 100, but based on the 100.
Yeah,
So,
the
like,
same
we're-
team.
yeah,
It's
same
just
team.
basically double duty in that one.
But Tony, I'm just going to tell you again. We did the math,
Okay, I'm
the
playing
math.
Michelle. I'm telling you again.
but we just said that even
I'm
if
doing the
she
math
does
in
all
my
those
head,
things,
and
having
Which is a lot of
somebody-
make her
things.
cry.
it's a lot of things.
That she has to do.
Even if that happens, she still scores less points than
Okay.
somebody from the winning team, and you're still going to play
well,
Michelle.
that's if they get reward also.
They're
right.
going to get reward. Come
You
on.
don't know. We
I don't know.
We don't know.
That that's why I'm keep rolling back.
I mean,
Is
it's
I'm not
hard.
confident on the reward thing. I'm not confident on, like, last week you could tell I was super confident. This week I'm not as confident.
All right. Well,
I'll tell you what I'm confident in. DB said Sandra is so smart.
Oh, the worst. All right, we got to get out of here. Thanks to Devin for producing. Jump on in this stuff over on FanDuel. It's a lot of fun. And make sure Thursday night, join us for the DFS Open. It's poker. What do you got going? Nothing. So join us.
Exactly, Tuttle. What do you got
Yeah.
going, Tuttle?
Get some of these bounties we got put out there on most of our guys, and you can win $5K at the end of it. And yeah, it's going to be a fun night. So check that out Thursday night. Lots of information right on the front page of Rotogrinders. on Global Poker. So check it out. For the guys, I'm Dan. We'll catch you next week. See you, everybody.